SAP IDoc. Okay, it's a separate kind of tool we can say, or separate advanced concepts which is not part of core ABAP. Okay, so core ABAP we call as a RICEF components, RICEF, RICEF, RICEF components. Okay, RICEF concepts. R means reports. Okay, so what are the reports we discuss? Classical interactive ALU reports. Next, interfaces. BAPI we discuss. IDoc also one of the interface, but it's advanced concept. Okay, now we are discussing this interface concepts. Then RICF, conversions. So conversions means data migration. So that BDC concept we discuss for conversion. Next, enhancement. We already initiated. BADI is pending. That we'll discuss after this concept. Next, forms. Last one. F means forms. That is smart form is pending. That we'll discuss next. Okay. Now IDoc is consider we call as a interface. Okay. So since it is an advanced interface. Okay. Here IDoc means abbreviation is intermediate document. Okay, I means intermediate, DOC means document. That is a short name. Okay, so concepts are we need to understand this all these steps how we are doing for IDocs. There are many steps: debugging, issue analysis, some other configurations that we'll discuss at the time of configuration. But basic level we need to know what is IDoc, structure of IDoc. Okay, what are the IDoc types? What is the segment, what is the extension IDoc types, IDoc views, okay, partner profiles, ports, okay, how we are do, what are the steps in outbound processing, what are the steps in inbound processing, okay. So IDoc we are using for communicating between two servers, SAP to SAP or SAP to non-SAP. What kind of situation we are using this IDoc? To transfer the master data or business relevant data like a purchase order, vendor creation, customer creation, purchase requisition creation, shipping creation, delivery creation, invoice creations. Okay, so what kind of situation we are using IDoc? If there is a different technologies involved in the project like SAP, .NET, Java, or PHP, some other tools we are using. So whenever they create a purchase order in the .NET system or Java system or PHP web application system, okay. So the same sales order, purchase order or ender customer will be creating in SAP as well through the IDoc. Okay. So whenever they trigger, it will be communicated to SAP and it will create in SAP master data. Similar, not in after some time. If you use BDC we are using only one time when we are migrated to non-SAP to SAP or SAP to SAP, or that time only BDC we are using normally one time on activity. But regular communication we are using IDoc or BAPI. Okay, both are interfaces. BAPI means business application programming interfaces. Here, IDoc means intermediate documents. So we are communicating data many ways. We have many ways through directly. I mean document format, XML formats. Okay, XML format we discuss some JSON formats or okay, or directly calling some piece of code. Okay, there are different types of data we are communicating between SAP to non-SAP or SAP to SAP. Understood? What is IDoc?
Yes, sir.
Any queries till now? Not always non-SAP to SAP. Suppose in SAP also, if you have different landscapes, like we are discussing ABAP with ECC, Enterprise Central Component. Okay, Enterprise Central Component, 80% of business SAP business is running on the ECC, and we have other 20% is running on BW system, Business Warehouse, or BWBA, Business Intelligence or Business Warehouse, or CRM systems, SAP CRM system. Okay, it is similar to same how we are logging, how we are doing the coding and all, but the functionality codes will not be there. Finance, SDM, purchase order, sales order, tables we are using, those tables, those T codes will not be part of CRM system. That is only specific to customer relationship management. Only those transactions will be there. ABAP transaction will be common for all the systems. SC11, SC38, SC37, SC80, SC91, SC41, SC51, all are common for all the systems because all the landscapes designed with ABAP programming. Only the functional transactions will be different. Okay. So in the CRM system to SAP ECC system, if you want to transfer the data, If you want to synchronize the data, master data or some business related transaction, that time we'll use IDocs. Not only CRM, SRM systems, supply relationship management, or SCM, supply chain management, BW systems, okay, APO systems. Yeah, there are different systems. If you want to communicate data or synchronize data between all the landscapes in the project level or business level, we are using IDoc process. Any doubt till now? All are clear?
Yes.
Okay. So next, what is IDoc? Okay. So IDoc is simply is a data container. Data container means it may be any format, like student record consider in our case. Student, what is data? What is the data about student? Student number, address, okay, year, fees. We talk about that student table, right? So there are 20 fields. 20 fields is the data of the student. So that we call as a data container. Okay. So IDoc is a simply data container used to exchange information between any two processes that can be understand the syntax and semantic of the data. So two process means SAP to SAP or SAP to non-SAP. Here two process they mention. Why we mention two process means functionality wise we call as a two process. CRM is a separate process, ECC is a separate process. But we have synchronized some of 10 to 20% of data between two systems parallel. Okay. Suppose whenever we create sales order in ECC system, sales order for which who will be I mean suppose we create a sales order, who is the sold to party there, to whom we are selling the sales. Yes, customer.
Customers.
Yeah, customer, we are selling the products to the customer, but customer should have some their own portal, or normally if you log in some website where we are purchasing items, we have our own account, like Airtel we have our own account, Geo we have own account, that we call as a customer profiles, customer websites. In SAP, customer website is only maintained in CRM system. It is not like SAP screen. There is a separate portal. When you punch one transaction in CRM system, it will open a website. Okay, there you can update your phone number, your email address as a customer. I'm telling. When you talk about BMW business or Volvo business, Volvo cars, okay, or electric business, or pharmaceutical industry, who are using SAP, if they have a CRM process, every customer they can log into their website and they can update their data. So whenever they update the data, suppose if they purchase, they put some purchase order, they in SAP we created one sales order for the customer, and after the sales order there are some time. So after the sales, what will be the next process? Consider Flipkart. What is our process when we first what we will do? Suppose I wanted to purchase, okay, one consider one trimmer. Okay, I want to purchase from the Flipkart. What are the activities we are doing?
First, we are searching for the item, we are selecting and we are placing the order, sir.
First we are searching the item. If same item is providing by different vendors, 4 5 vendors, what we will do, we are selecting the vendor also based on the reviews,
Yes,
right?
sir.
If you see in the bottom comments, there are different vendors.
Yes, sir.
Many people are not observing that because there are different vendors. Whenever you place the order, it will show some message. The other vendor might give, suppose the trimmer is
Less
400,
price
it
or
will show
price
that
like
some
that.
other vendor is giving 320 only. So
Yes,
different vendor is giving 350 only, but ratings are very low. Rating is one only or two only. What we will do, we'll go with 400 only, if because rating is not there. If rating is 5 for 320 vendor and 400 vendor, it is rating is 2, then we'll go with 320 only because rating is good and rate also amount also very less, right? So first we are searching the amount. Okay, then we are selecting the vendor. Then what we will do, we are placing the order. So whenever we place the order, it's a purchase order. From Okay, so from our side, it's we complete the order. You might see that thanks for your order. Order is placed successfully, right? Flipkart or Amazon. So that we call as in SAP terminology, we call as a purchase order. For them, it's a sales order. For whom it will be sales order?
for Flipkart or vendors, sir, vendors.
Not vendors.
Flipkart or Amazon, yes.
Yeah, Flipkart or Amazon, for them it's a sales order. So what they will do from their end, you might get all the messages, right? Different stages of messages. Item is packed or
Yes, sir.
shipped to this location or this location to it reaches to the Chittoor or Chennai it reaches from Chennai to Chittoor it reaches. Then it will come to your local mandal headquarters. Then from there to your hometown it will deliver. So these are all what we call this is. Suppose product we place that is from the vendor is from Delhi. Okay. So after sales order, what will happen? They have to ship the product to our location. So it's a shipping. So what is the process? First we are checking that product. So that is for request for quotation because sales SD module, total SD module I'm telling no one. So request for quotation through Amazon I'm telling. Okay. So after what we will do, we are doing the vendor selection. Then we are placing the order. We call it as a purchase order. 3 steps is there. Next 4th step, it's a sales order from client side. After that, what they will do? They are doing shipping. It's a shipping order. Then it reaches to your location. Then what they are doing? They are delivering to your home. So it's a delivery order. Then finally, what you will get in the product on the product level, you will get on paper. What is that paper?
Invoice, invoice.
Invoice. So finally, invoice. How many steps it is? Record for quotation, vendor selection, purchase order, sales order, shipping, delivery, invoice. Total 7 steps. So these all steps, all 7 steps is SD module. If you know all these 7 steps, how to create the vendor selection, how to create the purchase order, how to do the sales order, how to do the shipping order, delivery order, invoice. So if you know all these steps, you know the SD model, SAP SD, along with SAP ABAP. Understood? Because we are familiar with this through Amazon or Flipkart, right? But we don't know that background business terminology. But we know all the steps. We used to get every stage we are getting message. It is going to be delivered today. Okay, between this time to this time, and that delivery guy also calling, right? So it's a sales process. Okay. So process I'll tell you in different situation. Okay. So now here IDoc is a simple data container. This data might be different. It might be vendor selection or purchase order or delivery orders or sales order. Okay, or invoice. It can be anything from other system to our system. Okay. So whenever there is a CRM systems, the customer data should be read from the CRM system to ECC system. Okay. So data container used to exchange data between two processes. Okay. So in other words, we can say IDoc is a data file. Data container means or file are both the same with a specified format, which is exchanged between two systems, which known as a interpret the data. Okay. How to interpret the data. Okay. So abbreviation we already saw. IDoc stands for intermediate document. When we execute the outbound ALE, outbound means suppose we are sending data to some other system. So in our case, it is outbound. For them, it is a inbound. Okay, there are two processes, outbound, inbound. Whenever we send the data, it's outbound. Whenever they receive, it's inbound. Suppose we are only receiving what we call it's an inbound process. If we are sending, it's outbound process. If we are receiving, it's a inbound process. So ALE means application link enabling. Okay, this is the technology we call. Through this technology we are communicating the data. Okay, and we have other process, EDA process also. This is for non-SAP systems. We call this process. SAP to SAP we are processing ALE process, ALE and EDA process. Okay, next sessions I'll tell you in detail there. So in this process, IDoc will create. Okay. So in SAP system, IDocs are stored in database. Every IDoc has unique number within the client, not other client. If I am in 800 client, the unique number will be 800 client. 810 it will be different. Okay. Understood these steps top to bottom?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Okay, fine. I'll jump to next slide. We have some more points. Okay. So key feature IDocs are independent of sending and receiving systems. Okay. So we don't need any middleware servers and all. We can independently communicate. So SAP to SAP as well, non-SAP we can communicate. So IDocs are based on EDA standards. Okay, so that I'll tell you what is EDA next session. So it's a EDA means ANSI format you might aware of, you might hear previous. Forgot about this point, I'll tell later. So IDocs are independent of the direction of data exchange. Okay, so suppose this is we called as IDoc type or basic type. In the IDoc concept we call it this number. You can see order is 01. This is one of the IDoc type or basic type. Two names we call. Okay, so it's a purchasing module. The abbreviation of this name. Okay, for this process we have both inbound and outbound. Some IDocs types they have only outbound process. There won't be any inbound process. Okay, so IDocs can be viewed in a text editor. So data is stored in character format instead of binary format. This is all technical. Character means you can see directly what is the content. Binary means it is a encoding decoding format. Okay, so we can directly see the data in the character format. Since it is a XML format, XML means there are some tags. Okay, XML tags, but in between we can easily identify the data. Okay, less than greater than further, less than greater than slash further means it's a tag, further tag. In between we can see the further name like that. Okay, next, structure of IDOC. If you see the structure here, consider this orange color is external system. It might be SAP or non-SAP. We have inbound outbound processing in between this. Okay, two systems. So we have three steps here. Administration purpose we call as a control records. Inbound outbound data communication we call as a data records. The second box. Third box we call as a status records. So there are three stages, three layers of IDocs. First one is administration. We call as a control records. You can see here administration part. The second one we call as a data records, actual data, content of data like a student number, name. Okay, student number 35, name Raju, the address, location, that is stored in the data records. Okay, so and last one status records. Status means configuration, like we started sent, IDoc created. Next, IDoc reaches to the network, IDoc reaches to the port, IDoc transfer to the target system. Again, in the target system, IDoc reached, IDoc posted to the application, IDoc saved. So there are number of stages. Okay, IDoc from sending to receiving. Okay, so those status will be storing in the status record. So what are the three layers here? Control record, data record, status record. Okay, so what kind of data control record will store? What is the IDoc number? What is the message type? There are, I will discuss all next. Okay, IDoc means IDoc type, message type, current status. There are number of status 1 to 75 status. 75 numbers is there, different stages. Okay, the status will be storing what is the sender, what is the receiver. Okay, all will be storing in the master administration table, control record. For every layer we have separate table. Okay, control record and data. Data we call as the application data, so which contains the data. This is called as the data records or segments. Like if you see here in the second box, there are number of green color boxes. Suppose this is talking about student information. All student information, there are 100 fields. Okay, 100 types of information. Student number is one field, name, address, branch, or first year, second year, third sim, fourth sim, all kind of information. Like we have 100 fields. 100 fields will not store in one green color box. Green color box here we call as the segments. Segments means if we talk about data rich terminology, it's a structure basic. Suppose this first segment having 10 fields, second segment having again 10 fields, like that we have 10 segments, 10 segments into 10 fields, total 100 fields. 100 field total all 100 fields will be storing in IDoc type. For one IDoc there might be different segments. It might be one segment or multiple segments. You can see this we call, this is one level. In the second level we have again sub level. That's why we call it a child segment. Okay, understood this structure? Hello.
So
In
can
the
you repeat it
structure of,
once again, sir?
yeah. So very simple, I'm telling. For IDoc, there are three layers. Okay, in the IDoc structure, we have three layers. Okay, one is
Okay.
control record, data record, status record. The first box we call as a control record. Control record will store administration data. Who is the user? What is the sender? What is the receiver system? What is the sender system? Receiver system? What kind of data we are passing? So that is called administration purpose. Second box, second layer, it is talking about actual data, what we are sending from our system to target system. Actual data means student information or employee data or employee salary data. Understood now? First and second.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
First one means from where to where we are sending. Consider we have a one container. Okay. So container we are sending from Andhra Pradesh to Maharashtra. Okay. So now what is the source state? Andhra Pradesh. What is the
Andhra,
destination state? Maharashtra. Okay.
Maharashtra.
Yeah. Okay. So what kind of information we are sending? We are transporting medical. Okay. Medical items we are transporting. So medical items, sender state, target state. Okay. Those are all will be storing in administration table. That we call as a control data. Okay. Here.
Okay.
Okay. Now second box. Second box is talking about inside container. What is there inside container?
Medical items.
Medical items. So what kind of items we have? We have like fever items, hmm? Cancer items that we call as a data. What kind of data? The inside container what we are sending. Okay, that is storing in the segments. One suppose we have 5 segments. One segment is talking about fever items. One more segment we're talking about cancer medicine. Okay, second, third one is talking about sugar medicine. Like that, we have different segments. Okay, so now last table status record. For every state we have separate table. Last one is status record. Now status means we have to tell what is the status. So first there are number of status that we'll discuss later. Okay, technically, but consider there are number of status. First status is container is reached. Okay, so second one is container ready to dispatch. Container is in en route. Okay, container crossed Andhra Pradesh. Container enter into Telangana. Okay, container reach to Maharashtra. How many stages? There are different stages, right? We have
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
understood. So all these stages I'm talking about not the transportation stages, but technical stages. Because when we create the data, first it will store in the table, student table. Next, student table to internet we have to transfer. From internet to it reaches the target system. Once it reaches the target system, there it will check the which kind of IDoc we are sending. Based on the IDoc, it will dispatch. After dispatching, it will store to the application. Based on the application, it will store the relevant table in target system. So base system table to target system table, there are number of stages. In between, we are using internet. So we are communicating through systems means how we are communicating through internet. So there are different types of ports we need to use. If you see some websites having some ports 443, 43, 8081, 8080, port means which defines the data. Based on the IP address, port numbers, data will transfer between the technologies, between the servers. Okay. Now we understand what is this three structures of IDoc.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At least basic idea. Tomorrow again I'll show you in the test. Today only I'll show in the system level. Okay. So next control record. What is the control? Three layers we have right in the IDoc. What is first one? Control record. So all control record data is stored in the EDI/DC table. Okay. So the key to this table is IDoc number, primary key in this table. Okay. It contains information like IDoc number, direction, inbound or outbound. So I gave the example medicine transportation from Andhra Pradesh to Maharashtra. That is outbound because we are sending to Maharashtra. Suppose they are sending, it's inbound to us. Direction. Okay. So sender is Andhra Pradesh, recipient information, channel, which channel we are transporting through road or air at railway. That is a channel. Understood? Which port we are using? Port means not airport and all. Here it is a network port. Okay, in this case. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So direction 1 means indicates outbound process. 2 indicates inbound process. This I'll show in the system level. Okay. So that is about control record. Next, data records. Okay. So data record contains application data like employee header information, weekly details, client details. Okay. So all data recording is stored in EDA D2, EDA D4 tables and EDA DD, 3 tables. So one table is talking about different information that we'll discuss at the time of configuration. Okay. Basically, is EDA DD is a basic table. Is a structure where you can see it's a components. EDA D2, EDA D4 talking about different segments for this IDoc type. This is a high level one. Under this high level, we have the different segments that we can see in D2 and D4 tables. So this data record stores, it contains like IDoc number, name, number of the segments, how many number of segments we have in the IDoc, what is the hierarchy of the segments, like first segment, second segment and all. For each segment, it's a structure. Okay, for segment having 5 fields, that data we can see in the segment level. So the actual data is stored in as a string in the field S data. So that is part of EDA table. So under this S data field, we can see all kind of data. It will show as a raw format. I will show in the system, which is a 1000 characters character long field. As data is a system field, database table field. That length is 1000 characters. Right. Next, last one, status record. So status records is attached to the IDoc at every milestone or when it is encounters error also. Every milestone means so I that transport or content is started from Tirupati. Okay. Next, it will enter to Kadapa or okay Karnool. What are the steps we have? That is we call as every milestone. It passes the state. Okay. So very simple. I can say in outbound system, a basic system, there might be number of steps. Okay. Considering Andhra Pradesh only we have number of steps. Okay. We have to ready that container, then it passes the next district, again next district or next check post. Okay, when it crosses the state, that we call as a system. So when it crosses the Andhra Pradesh to Maharashtra, so Maharashtra is different system, Andhra Pradesh different system. Within Andhra Pradesh, we have the number of state districts, right? All districts we can say number of process, number of milestones. Any doubt till now? So that those all every stages will be storing in status record. So if you see every 1 hour, if you refresh the data, it will store the different stages. Sometimes it can be completed within 1 minute, all the stages. Okay. So all status records data, all status record data is stored in EDA DS. Last character indicates the table. S means status record, C means control record, D means data records. So status 1 to 41, total 1 to 75 I told, but not to exactly 75, only 69. Okay, 6 numbers is not there. If you see 1 to 41 is talking about outbound status. 50 to 75 is talking about inbound status. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 41. It's a outbound status. Suppose Tirupati 2, it crosses the Karnool. In between, we have 1 to 41 number of stages, status, milestones. Not every time it will not trigger all 42. It depends of the IDoc. If directly it crosses, then it will show one status only. If there are number of stages, it will show all the stages. So in outbound from Maharashtra side, they have different 50 to 75. Okay, out of this, 53 is a success case. In outbound case, 03 is a success. If it is showing 03, no error, no nothing is happened. It is perfectly processed. In this case, in inbound case, if it is showing 53, then it is also perfectly processed. If it is showing other than 53, then there is an error. We have to rectify, we have to pre-process, we have to see the content, or there is any dump system level, or there is error with programming or configuration that we have to check. Understood till now? Okay.
Okay, sir.
I need to hear from everyone. This is very important
Clear.
topic. Hello.
Clear.
Hemadri, Ganshekar, Amini, Bindu.
Yes. Yes.
Understood.
Okay. So we can see that IDoc data in W02 transaction or W05. Both are same. Like transport creation also we have SE01, SE05, SE01, SE10. Like that we have W02, W05. So at this moment, I will not tell differences. There is only small difference, but both are using same purpose. Okay. So has seen the screenshot. In this screenshot, you can see that. So order S01 is the IDoc type, basic type or IDoc type. In this IDoc type, we can see number of segments. Okay, these are all segments. Are you guys able to see this number of segments? E1, EDK01, ED1, E1, EDK14. Here you can see the description, document header for general data, document header for organization data, document header for data segment, taxes, conditions, partner information, reference data, terms of delivery, terms of payment, tax identification, text identification, okay, item general data, summary segment, general information. Are you understand? This is all together we call as a purchasing or sales information, right? In
Yes.
business terminology, when we talk about purchasing, okay, for purchasing we have purchasing general information, who is the user, how much total amount he paid when this purchase order created, but under which organization it is created, that we have to mention organization. Okay, how much tax is paid, that is taxes, GST, or okay, that is here. Conditions, if any conditions is there from the customer point of view. Partner information, okay, if they have any partner for this delivery, like a vendor, we can say in this case. Suppose we purchase the item, but if who will deliver, that partner will deliver for from Amazon. That in different way we call as a vendor. Reference information, if any reference customer paid, like we used to put second time we used to put trimmer, we already purchased last time 2 years back, we are taking we are putting a reorder, that we call as a reference data in this case. Okay, so terms of delivery, if any delivery, we have terms delivery. Okay, like for delivery we are paying additional 40 rupees or 50 rupees, that is comes under terms of delivery. I'm relating to that Amazon. Okay, so not exactly 100%, but 99% will be same in this case. Terms of payment. Okay, have you selected EMI payment or single payment? That is comes in terms of payment. Text identification, any text and like terms and conditions, there is any text that will be storing in this segment. Item general data means how many items we purchase. Two trimmers or four trimmers. Okay, not only trimmer, right? We might purchase others also in the same order. That will be storing here. Okay, last summary is segment general. So this is totally we call as a purchase order or sales order in business terminology, right? If you open each segment, for every segment there are 10 to 20 fields. So total all the segments together, it is called as the IDoc or basic type. So all data will be transferred under the one IDoc number. IDoc number which will be normally generated by default by the system. With that number we can track data is transferred or not. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, so IDoc
Yes, sir.
types. So an IDoc type or basic type, both are same. Okay, so defines the structure and format of business document. Now in previous slide we saw that this is one business document for the purchasing order or sales order. Okay, so basically this is IDoc type only, orders S01. Okay, so IDoc type means or basic types defines the structure and format of business document that is to be exchanged between the source to target system. Okay, so an IDoc is an instance of IDoc type, just like concept of variables and variables types in programming, how we are defining. Like data A type is integer. So integer is type of the A is a type of integer, right? When we declare the variable. Here also IDoc type is type of the IDoc. What is IDoc? IDoc is a business document. So this business document we call as IDoc type. Okay. So just like concept of this, we can define the IDoc types using W30 transaction. IDoc types. So all the transaction I'll open and see, I'll show you today. Tomorrow I'll directly do the configuration. So next, segment. Okay, well, high level is IDoc. So IDoc is configured with segments. Here you can see a segment defines the format and structure of data record. For each segment there are 10 to 20 fields. So the segment we call as a structures, other name is structure. Okay. So segments are reusable components for each okay. So reusable components. So the same segments can be there in other IDoc type also. Okay. So segment type, it defines the version. There might be different versions for each segment. So we need to always consider the latest version. Okay. That also I'll show at the time of configuration. So segment definition means version dependent segment documentation. So basically the transaction for segment is W31. W30 for IDoc type. W31 for segments. Next, what is the extension IDoc? Okay, if you see here, this is W30 transaction, IDoc type transaction. We have two options, basic type and extension. So if you mention here order S01, it will show that basic type basically. Extension means, suppose in the basic type, just now I showed the different types, different stages of segments like header information, tax information and all. So in business terminology, they wanted to add one more custom segment. As of now, we discussed standard process. If they wanted to add one more segment which is having 6 or 7 fields, which is not part of standard IDoc, so that we call as a custom segment. Custom segment added to standard IDoc. If you do that process, that we have to do in extension here. In this screen, SAP screen, we have to do extension. Extension IDoc means enhancing the standard IDoc with the some more fields. So some more fields when we added, we can't add directly fields. We call as a segment. We have to create first in SE11. That segment we have to add it to existing IDoc. So it is very less chance we use this. Okay. Next, documentation of IDoc. You see, order says 01. We need to know documentation. That we can see the documentation W60. I'll open and show you again. So message types. Okay. First bottom level option is segments. Then IDoc type, then message types. Okay, high level. So message type means a message represents a specific type of document that is transmitted between the two partners. Partner means sender and receiver. Okay, which kind of data we are transferring? Message type means just message. We can say simply. Suppose there are purchase order we are sending. So what kind of information we are sending means purchase order. That simply we can say message. Of the information here we call as a message type simply. Okay, so that how to create, there is no specific reason. In this table we have to create one new entry. There is a new entry option. We have to create one message type description. For this message type we have to assign IDoc type. That is just normal configuration point of view. This kind of information we are sending to a target system, just we are mentioning in the W81 transaction. Okay, so this is IDoc views. We can say IDoc F1, F2, F3 are different views. Views means segments. Okay. Next, partner profile. So we have to define the partner. Partner means target system. You can say based on the partner profile, we can see how we are sending data. So partner is defined as a business partner with whom you conduct the business and exchanging the document. Partner means target system. Here in this case, partner profiles. We have to configure in this transaction W20. See, in the partner profile of the partner that we are exchanging IDoc with, we maintain the parameters that are necessary for exchanging the data. The transaction is W20. Here we have to mention language, which country it is, which type. Okay, so we have to configure in this transaction. I'll tell you at the time of configuration. Okay. Next, we have to create the ports. Okay, this is called W21 transaction. In this transaction, we have to create port. We have number of ports: TRFC port, transactional RFC ports, and file ports. we are sending data file to file cases. Transaction RFC means it will transfer the data over the internet, not in the file format. In the internet level on, it will transfer the data through XML or different format. File means it will create the file in SAP, and file we are transferring, and they will decode the file. That is different process. Okay. So how can we transfer the data through SM59 transaction? We have to create one RFC. So RFC means the different name is logical destination. We can see the recording one more time. We'll get confused. So we have to create normally port. In this case, normally when we talk about different technologies, that port numbers is already created by the networking. 443 means for external, internal will be different ports. If there is a 443, it's a HTTPS. If it is a HTTP, that is different. We can create our own ports. If it is the internet, it's a HTTPS, always will be 443. So, but in SAP also, when we transfer between two systems, we have to create separate ports. Through the port only data will communicate. We can read this. So outbound processes, if you see here, in our system, what we supposed to do? First, we have to create the segments. So now I'm explaining the pure scratch level development. Okay. So if already IDoc is there, first two types is not required. Okay. If the IDoc type is standard IDoc type is not there, we are creating custom IDoc type. First, we have to create the segments. Where we can create the segments? W31. It's a part of the, it is simply we call it as a structures only. It is looks like structure only, combination of 10 fields, 12 fields. It's our wish. W31. Okay. Then we have to create the IDoc type in W30. Okay. So in IDoc type means combination of segments. We have to mention all segments in IDoc type. So that we can create message type means we have to mention some ABCD name, some information. It's simple. Okay. This is not technically not complicated. One name we have to mention ABCD. We're sending test data also we can create. One record we have to add. So we have to assign this message type to IDoc type that we can do in W82 transaction. What are the message type we created? IDoc type. Both combination name we have to maintain here as a one record we have to mention in this table W82 transaction. Then we have to create the port in W20. Okay. Then finally in this port we have to check the connection. The next two steps is talking about port. Suppose if you are going to use a message control the method, so we have to trigger the data between the two systems to the function model we have to create. Okay, so how to trigger is we have to create some program. Through the program we can trigger this process. Finally, we have to create the partner profile to whom we are sending data, that is comes under W20 transaction. This is from sender side. Receiver side is next slide. Okay. So receiver side also it should be same segment. Now our outbound process, inbound process I'm explaining in the case of SAP to SAP. SAP to non-SAP. Non-SAP we don't need to care about from as a ABAP. That is not our case. That is not our activity. Suppose we are sending to Java system, outbound process is enough. We don't need to do the inbound process because inbound process is everything running on the .NET system. That is not our activity. We don't need to take care. Suppose we are doing both inbound or SAP to SAP means we are sending ECC system, outbound process we have to do. We are sending to CRM, CRM also we have to do. That is inbound process. So we need to know both process. But when the case of other technologies, it might be only outbound or it might be only inbound. If we are sending, it's outbound. If they are sending, we have to do inbound process configuration. Understood this?
Yes.
Role of our ABAP. If both are SAP systems, we have to configure both sides. Either it may be anything. If CRM is source system, outbound. If CRM is destination, it's an inbound. ACC is outbound. ECC is sending outbound. It depends. Okay, but we have to do both outbound and inbound. Any one of the systems. When you say SAP to non-SAP, it's SAP is triggering. It's outbound. If .NET is triggering, in SAP side we have to do inbound. Any one only we can do. So outbound we discuss. Now inbound side also, it's a consider inbound also SAP. Inbound also will storing same kind of data, right? If we are sending student information, they are also storing student information only. So they should also having IDoc type. Okay, they should also same IDoc type, basic IDoc type, and we should create message type. Okay, then we have to assign this message to basic IDoc type. 3 steps are same. So, and we have to create one separate function model to capture that information. What was the information we are sending from outbound system? In inbound system, we have to capture in the function model. Okay, so that function model characters we have to define in BD87 transaction, BD51. Okay, so then based on the inbound function model, we have to assign this message type. From this message type to function model, we have to configure. Okay, then we have to create process code. Process code means what kind of information we are sending. And here also we have to configure partner profiles. Okay, through the process code, through the function model, we will post data into the student table through the insert keyword or whatever it may be. That logic we have to write in the function model level. Okay, so these are all the basic steps. Okay, you go to the document in detail. Okay, now I'll show all the transaction, what kind of information we discussed, and configuration we'll see in next session. Okay. Able to see my SAP screen?
Yes.
So where we can see the IDoc information, W02. You can see IDoc list. So we don't have latest information. I'll mention 2000 date, 2000 year. Okay, 2000 to 2021. Okay, I'm just executing. This screen you are aware, na? So this number of tabs, how can we create? Selection screen concept we discussed, tabbed block. Through that we can create this number of subscreens in the selection screen for the program. These are all arrow marks are considered select options. You can see. Are you able to see here? Outbound IDocs. CREMAS means customer mass. DebMAS means delivery documents. For every, these are all IDoc types, different IDoc types. You can see invoice IDoc type. For this inbound IDoc type, these are all the number of IDocs. You can see. Here you can see number of status. IDoc, this is IDoc number. One IDoc, this is a segment, 75 is a segment. 03 means success, I told you. Okay, so this is IDoc status. You can see outbox, direction, inbox or outbox. Okay, direction is outbox. This is a port number. Okay, you can see this is a message type. This is date created, the time. Okay, basic type means IDoc type. Invoice 02. You can see here INVO IC, but here you can see 02. 0 means it's a latest version. Okay, this is a partner system. You can see this, this is okay. Status grouping means based on 03 means success. There are three boxes, right? Last one is green, before one is orange, and first one is red color. Okay, that is programming we can define. Now you understand this. What other fields you are able to see here? That all we discussed. Port number, direction, message type, time, date. Basic type means IDoc type. Statuses, segments, IDocs. This is structure. Now see in this number 513748, I'm double click on this. This is different screen. So what is the structure of IDoc? You can see control record, data record, status record. Are you able to see these three?
Yes, sir.
So what will be storing in control record? So I'm double click on this control record. You can see right side it will open. You can see type. What is the basic type? Okay, what is the message type? What is the port number we are using? What is the partner number? Partner type, logical system. Okay, port number. This is recipient information. This is sender information and technical information. You can see SAP release. Okay, date, time, and all. Address information. Some other basic info. You can see 03 success message. Data passed to port OK. This is outbound process. You can see one means outbound, 2 means inbound. You can see here. 1 means outbound, 2 means inbound. So this is outbound IDoc. So outbound IDoc 03 success means data passed to port OK. So port is the last step in outbound case. First data IDoc created, IDoc passed to application, IDoc passed to port, data passed to ports OK. So this is the last step. You can see number of messages. I'll show you in the F4 option. You can see 69 entries. Here you can see not used only R by 2. IDoc generated 01, 02, error passing data to port 02. If it is showing 02, that is error. 03 data passed to port OK, success. Okay, 04 error within the control information for EDA subsystem. We are not using EDA process, so that is not error during a translation. If there is a translation option, translation OK. Error during syntax check. If we are running the program or there is a program we design or there is some code we design for sending the data, if there is syntax error, we'll get this error. Syntax check OK. Okay, number of errors you can see here. Mostly we will get 02 error passed to data port and 29 error in ALE service. Only those two will get many times. Okay. So after 42, 52 onwards, it's a inbound process. You can see IDoc added 50. Application document not posted. This is error. Always will get many times. 0 to 29 is common error for outbound. 51 and 64 is for inbound. Many times we will get error. Application document not posted. IDoc ready to transfer to the application. Always will be showing IDoc ready to transfer application, but it will not transfer. If it is transferred, we'll get 53 application document posted. Posted means it will store in the database. This system, target system. You can see number of stages, 75 stages. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is about control record. Okay. Next, data record. You can see which IDoc it is. Invoice IDoc. For invoice IDoc, you can see number of segments. So now I'll open first segment. You can see here data. For this segment, first segment, these all the fields: currency, USD dollars, some other fields. This all the table fields, net amount. Okay. You can see this is the data. This is a field. This is a field content. So this data we are transferring to different system. If you click on next segment, you can see here listener, vendor number. Okay, vendor address. You can say sales organization. Vendor ORT0 means city. Okay, postal code, land US, SPRS is language, English language. Reason, okay, reason CO you can see. B name, who created this sales order. You can see user ID. Okay, this is the plant ID and some other numbers. This is the organization information or vendor information you can say. Next segment you can see some other information. There are different segments storing having different kind of data where transferring this information to other systems. It may be .NET or SAP. SAP means not always ECC to ECC. It may be ECC to CRM, ECC to SRM are different. You can see number of data when I'm clicking these segments. Suppose if they told one kind of information, suppose they told vendor information is vendor number is not coming means if you open this segment here vendor number will be empty. So we have to save this vendor information and we have to reprocess here. Reprocess with proper information. Reprocessing and all we are using different transaction that I'll tell you in next sessions. Okay. Understood what is the data records? You can see this is the data information, right? I was given an example. One is talking about fever information. One is talking about cancer information, and you can see the field content, right? And last one is status record. You can see when this IDoc is generated. This is outbound IDoc. You can see first IDoc generated. Okay, this is the first stage. Next, IDoc ready for dispatch in ALE service. This is the service we are using for transferring. Under 30, okay. This is some information. After 30, directly jump to 03. Data passed to OK. Normally, if there is a proper IDoc generated, these three messages will be showing. IDoc generated first, and IDoc ready to dispatch for ALE service. Next 03, IDoc passport. If this is showing these three, this IDoc is properly processed. Okay, still they are not still they didn't get this information, means where it will be in issue.
Inbound process.
Yes, because in outbound process, these three messages means all three stages properly processed. Normally we have three stages, proper stages. 01 means IDoc created. Next, IDoc ready to dispatch in ALE service. Once it is ready, then it is passed to port. So these three success. If there is a issue, means they have to check in their side, because in our side it is processed properly with 03 state. Okay. So for this invoice, all are success only. Let's check in different one. I'll check customer master data, 3 marks. You can see 02 error. I'll double click on this IDoc. You can see control and all we already see. Data information, we have only one segment we can see. Here you can see vendor, company, some ERNM, ERDAT, who created, when he created, land, one country, name, Amazon. This is dummy data, not actual business data. That's when they mention Amazon you are. Now in status you can see 03 IDoc generated. Okay, next 30 also ready, IDoc ready to dispatch. But 03 not came, IDoc ready to data port to port is error passing data to port. So you have to double click on this. You can see error while sending by HTTP. So HTTP communication we are using hypertext transfer protocol. So there's some issue. Sometimes suddenly internet might be down in bit when we are processing. So that time port not working. Port might not working. So what we do, we have to do reprocessing. You can see here. Error while sending data HTTP. This is a 02 means it's a basically network issues. That's why I told many times we used to get. If there is a different numbers, 29, some other numbers, okay, 22 or 04 and all, that's sometimes issue might come because of data, okay, not network issues, because of data, okay. So 29 you can see what is 01. So next, what is next step? 30. 30 means IDoc ready to pass it to ALE service. So that opposite of success is 30. 30 is success. If there is a failure in second step, it's a 29. Okay, so no global company code is assigned to a company code ZBC. So this company code, for this company code, we have to assign some global company code. That is data issue. Okay, we have to check that data issue. Why that company codes are not maintained? Okay, in the here we can see data. Where is the company code? Bookers. Okay, this one BUBKZ. So here it is showing nothing. So this data is missing. That's why this is not processed properly. Okay, if you can check different deb mass, you can see. You can see in this is IDoc types. Under these IDoc types, these are only IDocs generated. Each IDoc talking about one information. Suppose if there is a student IDoc type, one IDoc number is talking about one student. Okay. Understood? IDoc number means one record. If there is 100 IDoc numbers means 100 student information under this IDoc type. Now G 29 is empty again. Here you can see. He also showing no company codes because this is a sandbox, no company codes are not processed. So I will minimize this outbound process. We'll check inbound process next one. In inbound process we can see same 3 marks. Customer we have inbound also. Now if you see here, numbers, status numbers are talking about between 50 to 60, 50 to 75. Previous it was always showing between 1 to 41 because that is outbound process. Now we are talking about inbound process. So what is the meaning of 65? If I double click on this IDoc, you can see here error in ALE service. So 65 is opposite to 29. 29 in outbound, 65 means inbound. Error in ALE service. 50 means 50 opposite to 01. 01 is IDoc added. IDoc generated, here IDoc added 50. Next step supposed to be 64. Okay. So 64 opposite, 64 is success, 65 is failure in ALE service. Next it is showing, it's supposed to show 53. And if it is not showing 53, then it will show 51. I can see it. 50 IDoc added. Next 64 IDoc ready to transfer to application. 62 IDoc pass it to application. So these are all 4 steps. After 62 is supposed to show 653, but it is showing it is failure in the 53 step. That's why it is showing 51. I can see the message. Tax jurisdiction code could not be determined in this segment, where we can see tax jurisdiction. You can see here. You can see tax jurisdiction. You can see here this field, tax BS. Are you able to see this field, tax BS?
Yes.
So this is missing when we are getting data. So we have to tell them tax jurisdiction you are not sending, or it might be in between, it might be lost. So you have to reprocess with proper data. Okay. So that is the error message. So you'll, hello? Someone is speaking? Okay, fine. Understood all these IDoc types? These are all IDoc types, IDoc numbers, different types. Okay. These are all standard IDoc types. If it is showing Z, starting with Z, those are all custom IDoc types. Tomorrow I'll create a separate custom one, then I'll show here in this list. These are all standard one because it all are started with A to X, in between A to X. Understood? These are a number of IDocs. Outbound we have 4,64,000. Inbound we have 1,30,000. Any doubt on this transaction? Okay. Now segments. W IDoc types W30. You can see basic and extension. We were talking about orders is 01, right? Just click on enter. You can see description came. Now click on display. Are you able to see this? Orders is 01. This is talking about purchasing on sales. You can see this is one segment. Double click on this segment. This is augment header general information. I just double click on this. I'm creating one more session. Connection issue. Guys, are you able to see my SAP screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just logging to again. So W30 is IDoc types. So order 01 is talking about purchasing and sales orders. Okay, in front. Just click on enter. You can see description came here. Now click on display. These are all segments. Click on first segment. You can see this is the first segment. Okay. So don't go with segment editor. We have separate transaction for that. You can see this is master segment. Under this segment we have again sub segment. Okay. This all plus symbol is again this we have see. Again we have for item general data we have again item reference data, item segment data, item tax, item conditions. Because for every item there are again information. You can see again here plus. For if you note down all these segments, for every segment there are 10 to 20 fields. All together finally orders. If there are, if you consider all segments, there might be 200, 300 fields of information we are sending in this orders document. Okay, if you want to see each segment, transaction is W31/O W31. You can see segment. So what is the first segment? E1E DK01. You can type here. E1E DK01. If we click on display here, but does not exist. Sorry, E1E. Are you able to see this segment? First segment is E1E DK01, but you can see number of segments came. What is the latest version? 005. This is the latest version. If you double click on this segment, see, I just double click, you can see here, you can see the new page. This is the segment name E1E DK01. So IDoc document header general data, you can see left side. So this is the latest version. Okay, who changed SAP? You can see number of fields, action, some currency name, data element. You can see what is the data element for CUSCK. You click on this currency. Okay, for each field you can see if they provided 100 fields, we need to check which IDoc is. Suppose they provided purchase order related document. So this information we are going to send through IDoc. So can you check your IDoc is suitable for these 100 fields? You have to check each segment. All the fields which they are sending is assigned, I mean, already available or not. So Bellner, if you click on this data element, you can see IDoc document number, Bellner. Okay. I can see NATGW. You can see this is, if you click on data element, you can see net white. Okay. So net white we have NETWR also. We already saw sales order table. Okay, but both are same. Here they created with EDA format. So both data elements we can use. Both length will be same. Okay. You can see other fields also. If you click on next segment, K14, click on enter. So we have only one version. Double click on this segment. You can see only two fields. For second segment, we have only two fields. Okay. Next segment 03. We have only one version. If you double click on this, we have three fields: date, time, and what is this? IADAT, qualifier for IDoc data segments. Okay, that is we are not using. Next 04. We have two versions. So latest version is 001. You can see these many fields. MWSKJ. What is that information? VAT indicator. Tax indicator. You can see. This is the tax code table we discuss MWSKZ. Next is MSATZ. This is which data? VAT rate. Next, value add tax amount, same on VAT. This amount in this segment we are storing amount. This is a rate we are storing. Next, tax jurisdiction, and this is the information of tax. So like that we have each segment. First of all, we have to create segments here. We have the create button here. You can create, suppose we are creating just Z. If you click on create, it will create the segment. So it should be always less than 7 characters. So we can remove last character. So here you can mention the field name data elements. Like that we have to create relevant or student information. We can create two and three segments tomorrow. We'll do that. We'll do example for student information. We'll relate easily. So after segments creation, what we're supposed to create, we have to create IDoc type. What is the transaction for that? W30. Here we have to create IDoc type. So whenever we create IDoc type, suppose Z order only we are creating. Okay. We have to create some description. So in this description, we have to add, you can see, we have to create the segments. We have to add one more segment here by selecting this. So whenever you click on create, it will ask the segment. So segments we already created in W31, we can add one segment here. So whenever you add segments, it will show this structured format. Understood? Yeah. So W31 is for segments creation, W30 is IDoc creation, then W81 for message types. So here we have to create new message type. This is cross client table. If you create message type here, same client, same message type is available in A10 client also. So click on new entry. You can mention ABCD message type, student information, like that. We can give the description. Okay. So I'm not creating, just we can mention the information like that. Next, we have W82. We have to assign this message type to IDoc type. You can see here message type which we created in W81 and this IDoc type. So in this case, orders is 01. Both are, we can see now. What is the message type for the orders? OR DR is 01. Not coming. OR DR is 01. It's not showing. O series, right? Let's see. You can see here. Are you able to see this? Orders is 01. I don't know why it was not showing in position. Are you guys able to see this IDoc type? So it was created by SAP. For this order type, this is a message type. So where we create message type W81. If you see this message type W81. If you put the position here, you can see here. What is the message type? Purchase order, order change. This is the information. They simply maintain record. So they assign that entry to orders S01 in this table. Okay, so these are only 4 steps. First step is W31 for segments creation, what kind of data we are sending, field names and all. W30 for IDoc type, then W81 for message type, then W82 assign the message type to IDoc type. Okay. So now what is the next step we discuss? W20 partner profiles. Here you can see partner profiles we have to design. We have different kind of businesses here. Consider vendor, we created partner profiles. We can see number of partner profiles here. Okay, so based on the partner profiles, it will decide that what kind of information we are sending. Okay, so this is sandbox partner profile. We can see here age and name and all, we can put our name. Based on this partner profile only, we can understand we are doing outbound process or inbound process. So this is also cross client. Now I select this partner profiles. So for this partner profiles, what is the configuration maintained here? Outbound or inbound entries are there? Outbound we don't have entries, so we have inbound entries on it. So this is partner profile for configure for the inbound process. Okay. If you see any different one, now see for this partner profile, you can see both inbound and outbound process configured. Okay, this is configured by someone. We can also add our parameters, configured parameters. Next, W21 port creation. You can see it. There are a number of options we can transfer the data. So now SAP to SAP, we prefer transactional RFC. Okay, we have to create ports. These all ports already created. We already saw in W02. I'll show one of the IDoc. I'm opening W02 where we can see the ports. I'm just executing this. Port means it's a communication purpose we are creating. 2000 to 2021. It's taking time. So port is a part of IDoc. Okay, you can see these are all standard ports. Because I found this system no IDocs was figure. So I will not able to show custom ports. You can see I think why someone is connected with Y port. Okay. So this is RFC destination. Ports are always communicated with RFCs. Okay. So RFC means we can remotely log in it with the different systems. Okay. So I'll show you how to log in different systems through RFC. So we are discussing this case. We are discussing transactional RFC. We are not discussing other RFCs. Okay, file RFCs and all. Those are all different cases we are discussing. So I'll explain you IDocs with transactional RFCs, SAP to SAP. Okay. Configuration will be same. Types will be different. Now this case, this is W21. Now last transaction is SM59. This is for creating the RFCs to connect with the different systems. Basically, we will not have access for this SM59. This will be, it's a basic activity. You can see number of connections. SAP to SAP, we call it as a ABAP connection. SAP to some websites, it's a HTTP to external server. So SAP to different ABAP system, which is there in online, okay, not in our premises. So SAP connection to ABAP system, internal connections. If you have any internal connection with intranet connections, will connect this. Logical connections, this is with different activities, okay, through different servers. And TCP IP protocols, if we have any TCP IP connections, we'll go with this. Okay, connection via ABAP drivers, this also we will not prefer. We mostly are working on ABAP connections, okay, 80 to 90% as ABAPers. So we need to know what is ABAP connection. I can see number of RFCs here. What is the transaction for RFC creation? SM59. Okay, these are all the RFCs. So RFC names always will be 10 characters. First 3 characters will be system ID. DIG system. CLNT is common. Next 800 is a client. Now we are in EH7 system. EH7 CLNT 810 client. Okay. So let's see. RFC is there for 810 client. EH7 800 we have, 810 we don't have. Now I'll create for 810. Okay. Now which client I'm in? 810 client. Are you able to see this 800 here?
Yes.
Okay. So who is having 810 access?
Amadri.
Yeah, Madhuri. Okay. Now I'll create RFC for you with your ID. You can see. Okay. RFC connection here. 3 means ABAP connection. You can see the same numbers only. You can see all. But each one having, we have number. You might see in a program also. 1 means executable program, I means include program, like that. These are numbers. Okay. So 3 means connection to ABAP connection. So now I am creating our system on ES7 CLNT 810 client. Okay. Here information RFC connection to 810 client. Okay. So here you don't need to select. Target host is, I'll mention same IP address. What is our IP address? 183.82.114.52. 183 dot, what is next? 15 dot, correct or wrong? 82. 82 dot 114 dot 15. Through IP address we can configure, or host name means like a facebook.com or flipkart.com. If you have any IP address, DNS name, you can mention as a host name. Now we are going with IP address. You can see here. What is our instance number? 85. Okay, 183, 82, 14, 15, 85. mention the here ends 85. Enter. You can see IP address also came. So this is we need to mention. Next, go to log on in security. So I need to log in English language. Client is 810. What is your user ID?
85 33. 85
85
above 33.
ABAP
Above 33.
30 30
33.
33. So password I will configure. I know. So I just click on save. User can be used for remote login. That is okay. Just information message. So saved. Okay. Just click on display mode. Don't change anything. So first do the connection test. Connection text is okay. If it is showing milliseconds, it is okay. If it is showing red color here, then there is an issue between this. Okay, now connection test is successful. Now I am logging remotely. So which system I mean? I have only one screen here. Let me close all this. I close this. Next we have this screen also. I close this. I close this. I have only one SAP screen active. We are in SM59. So now I am clicking on remote login. Are you able to see the second one?
Yeah.
You guys able to see here? Let me put the client. What is the client number here?
Yes, 810.
What is the username here?
Yes, 84.
So whatever you mention in here user, with that user, it will log into remotely. Okay, through RFC with the IP address. Now we are in 810. This is 810 client. Okay, so if you use this RFC name ES7 client 810, this will be using in program in background. Through this RFC name, data will communicate. Okay, now I configured in our system only. Same IP address with a different client. If I put a different system, okay, I'm click on change. Let me log into SF. Not our system, ES7. I put different system. Let me try this. It's not working. Let me try this. 180 through 82. So this is different system. I log in now. So I'm just close. What is the IP address here? 183.
180.
That is a different ABAP system. Okay, not our system. Dot 220. Okay. So instance number is 05. You can see here. If I click on enter, IP address updated here. So we are changing the target system parameters. Okay, updated. Now I'm logging to the security. Login security. We have to configure user ID. User ID will change. I'll log in with a different user. So I want to log in 800 client. Okay, user is SAP user. Password I'm mentioning. I just click on save. That is okay. Just information message. So after this, it will showing editable mode. Just click on display. Display means it will gray out. Now I'm checking the connection test. Two ABAP systems, not the same systems. It consider this is a CRM system. Okay. I just click on connection test. It might work, it might not work. But I log in. Login is different, connection is different. I directly log into the server. Are you able to see these errors?
Yes, sir.
Because I have access, but when we connect remotely one system to another system, there is an error. In this case, you have to check with base system. Okay, because they have to, they're able to connect from one system to another system. Means Two systems might be in the different networks, okay, in the online. So it might not able to connect, okay. So, but in our case, 800, 810, both are in same system. Okay, client is different, so that's why it was working. But in this case, different. You can see network interface error. This gateway is not reached. Partner. Okay, connection timeout. There might be any number of issues. I try to click connection test again. So just click on back. If we click on connection test again, it is trying to connect that system. RFC is user ID is correct, password is correct, but two servers are different areas. It's not able to communicate the system. So these kind of issues, actually RFC should created by basis team. Sometimes it will give access to you, like, if you are a senior software engineer, they will give access. If you are sometimes if you are not able to access SM59 also, you will not able to work. We need to ask them to provide access for this transaction. Okay, now we have access for all transactions since we are our user ID having SAP all access. Otherwise, we are able to access only ABAP transactions. This MM01, ME21, those one will not able to access. The system may be in our system only. Understood this RFC part?
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's it for today's session. I go to the document to see all the points. Okay, so all the any transaction we miss. W30, 31, 60 I want to show. Okay, documentation for so W/N W60. Okay, so this is the orders S01. You can click on this HTML format, basic type. Okay, you can see it here, documentation of orders. You can see first, this is first segment E1 EDK01. So this is basic. If you want to see the structure, you can click on this structure. You can see this is the first option. What is the first option? You can see here, internal data type, character length. Okay, action code of EDA message, order acknowledgement required, flag, currency, CUCR, you can see, EDA local currency, exchange rate, terms of payment key, this field description, okay, what is the length, characters, you can see all the fields for each and every segment. This is the next segment, we have two fields, qualifier organization, okay. For W64, documentation of IDoc type, okay. That is one. Any transaction, 81 we covered, 20 we covered, SM59 we covered. Okay, 30, 30, 81, 21. Okay, so BD87, function model characteristics. That is for inbound process. This is also cross-client system. A transaction means whatever we configure, same we can see in A10 client also. But other transaction we can't see, that is client specific. Here we have to know the function models, okay. So this will be created in inbound, will be creating separately. We have to maintain the suppose for this is consider quality, okay, recent, consider any one of the transaction. You can see store inventory, okay, this is function model, store MM model, this is comes under, okay. You can see student admin, some other function model. You click on this. So 01 is okay, input type or output type. Okay, this I'll tell you later. You get confused. Or the transaction. This role I'll tell you at the time of creation. That is process code, water profiles and all. Actual data. Okay. So that's it from